Here's one of the most admired and influential foreign films of its time, Wild Strawberries. Instead of taking place somewhere in America, this one is set in Sweden. It's a 1957 drama, Wild Strawberries, directed by the great Ingmar Bergman. The story follows a professor who's on a road trip to accept an award. En route, his encounters with people and places propel him back and forth in his memories to re-examine his life, to consider the man he has become through the choices he made. Bergman was inspired to make Wild Strawberries when he realized on a road trip that he was near the home of his late grandmother. He started to wonder, what if he could walk back into his childhood and see people as they were? The enduring influence of this movie can be seen in a number of films, most obviously in the 1997 movie Deconstructing Harry, an homage by one of Bergman's great admirers, Woody Allen. In that movie, Allen is a famous writer assessing his life while traveling to accept an award from the college that expelled him years earlier. But direct influences aside, Wild Strawberries, as a road movie, was one of the first to be more introspective, to turn the physical journey into a spiritual and emotional one. You'll see this echoed in other movies. One of the great influences on Ingmar Bergman's career was the man who played Isaac Borg, Victor Seastrom. Long before acting in this film, he had been one of the great movie directors of the silent era, initially as a pioneer in the Swedish film industry. He later hit the road to Hollywood, where he directed several classics, including The Wind and The Scarlet Letter, both starring Lillian Gish, and The Divine Woman with Greta Garbo. Then he left Hollywood and gave up directing to spend his later years in his native Sweden acting in films, including Wild Strawberries. I like the Virgin Spring a lot, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's here.
Yeah, Virgin Spring. Well, that was the weird thing, was having seen Last House on the Left first.
Yeah.
And watching Virgin Spring and then going, oh, fuck, you bastard.
That was how I got the...
His Last House on the Left, an effective interpretation of the Virgin Spring. I mean, for some people, I'm sure they'd rather watch Last House on the Left than a Bergman movie. I get that. I mean, it is like the Grindhouse version.
But I don't know, man. I love Virgin Spring just because it's, again, I think in Barry, the idea of just the primal kind of violence and how violence destroys people and how revenge kind of, destroys people and the way that he depicts the violence in it. And I think that movie's what, 1960?
Yeah.
That scene is off. I mean, any scene, but that, I mean, for the time it came out, it's still very hard to watch. It's very, very rough.
I still think the scene in Virgin Spring when the scene in that is awful. Any scene is awful, but the one in that one is particularly really intense, and it's made in 1960. And again, no music. Something terrible is going to happen, and you're just watching this thing unfold.
Not exploitive
at all. Yeah,
at all. It's not. It's just saying. And again, no music, which I like. It's just kind of you're the point of view of one of the perpetrators almost. Your point of view of the kid. I always feel like when I watch the young boy is afraid. Yeah, sure, Max von Sydow. In any other movie, you've been like, now you get out of here and go. And now he murders him. And you're just like, yeah. Some kind of thing, and you just go, yeah, I get Max. I totally get the anger. I get that. When he starts flogging himself, it's terrifying, but I get it. There's like something very finite, emotional, and something very simple about it. And then, I just find him with the tree too. The tree shot. I mean, that's when people talk about Bergman. I always think of that tree shot. And that whole image of Max von Sydow with the tree, can this one man just force his will upon nature? Can I just fucking pull this thing? It's like, no, you can't. And it's such a striking image. Yeah, that's just the image of that, of just the futility of nature. Do you know what I mean? That's the futility, not to sound super pretentious, but it's just one man against this.
He's just trying to pull a tree out of the ground.
It's just, and you get it on some weird level of like, this is just the way the world is, and you can't fight it. But he does it in one single image. And Bergman really wants you to be with that young girl, and he also wants you to be with the parents. I always feel like that's he's seeing his story through their eyes, and kind of the ambivalence of violence and revenge, and there's a lot going. There's very many layers that it's even hard to even. Yeah, no, it's and Criterion just came with a massive box set, which is all the post staff on Barry was we were all watching those because it came out, I think around the time we were starting post. So everybody was like, "Did you get to this yet? Did you get to this movie yet?" Just a bunch of nerds.
Sawdust and Tinsel wasn't my bag, dude.
What is this, like 38 movies?
No, yeah, it's like 40 movies.
Autumn Sonata fucking knocked me out, man. It's fucking rough.
You're like, all right, dude.